My blissful gorgeous selves, is there a quickest and fastest way to become a billionaire? Of course there is. Just become a partner of a billionaire firm. The firm will be yours. Same way, the quickest and fastest way to attain all the power of God, all His beauty, all His intelligence and all His prosperity is just jump up to attain God realization. Just identify your heart with a God-realized person and you made it. Just unify your heart with the heart of the Gopis of Vrindavan. As many times Gopis unite with Sri Krishna, you also attain Krishna full well, my dear friends. Vaishnavite approach is the solid way and Srimad Bhagavatam guides into the path. Studying, listening and meditating on the pastimes of Sri Krishna as described in the 10th canto is the shortest and fastest procedure. Rasalila is the ultimate and intimate relationship with Sri Krishna through unifying one's heart with the blessed Gopis. In Rasalila Darshan, you become a trillionaire tycoon in the spiritual field in no time. My dear friends, unless you are arisen beyond all attractions of all glamours of the world and lower pulls of nature, uninvolved and detached 100%, your heart and brain remain a garbage dumping ditch. In that polluted atmosphere, tips and logic and instructions for true happiness and righteous conduct and enlightenment does not appeal much. Without that, no elimination of perversion. Okay? Without that, no establishment in our real self, in your real self. But all these and much more automatically happens precisely of their own accord if when you only arise in transcendental made love with Krishna. And this Rasalila is the eternal saga of this transcendental made love, my dear friends. Let us understand what this love is. When the bliss of your true self reflects through your dorsal plexus, the Anahata Chakra, and flows out into the interactions of life, it is called love. Love is the light of bliss of your integrated self. Love is dearness, predominant blissful awareness. Dancing wisdom is love, my dear friends, remember it. Thrilled and excited awareness is love. This love has 8 evolutionary stages to grow into. In comparison to this peak, so-called love known in the entrepreneurial world is simply an inertia or just a kind of hatred, my dear friend. From the efficiency, from the skillness, from the very dexterity of action comes out wisdom. Wealth or great careers or partial attainment, side effects that comes out. Okay? They are side effects, they are dirt that comes out of efficiency. The cream of efficiency is wisdom. Therefore, wisdom is the only real wealth. The cream of all wisdom of the whole world is the Vedas. The essence of all Vedic wisdom is Srimad Bhagavatam. All great exciting informations poured out from Canto 1 to 9 are just introduction to the Canto 10. And the cream of Canto 10 is this group of 5 chapters expounding picturesque pastimes of Lord Rasalila. Rasalila is the most precious boon of Vedic wisdom, my dear friends. It requires a highly refined intelligence to understand. With regular patterns of your brain, you cannot discover the underlying consistency of the Vedic proclamation. A gentleman came to Vrindavan 400 years ago. He visited a god-realized saint of the time. His name was Sri Jiva Goswami. He sang a song which meant, "My dear, immersed and dipped and lost I am in his color, dazzled with his light. I am sold out to him looking at his countenance." The song was sweet and feelingful. Jiva Goswami asked, "Dear sir, where did you find this poem?" The man said, "Holy sire, his name is Gadadhar Bhatt. He lives far away. He never came to Vrindavan yet. He composed it." Goswami looked at him. He composed a new poem at once and sent it to him. As soon as it reached him, he sang out aloud, "Anaradhya radha padambhoja yugmam anasritya vrindatavim tatpadankam asambhasya tadbhava gambhira chittam kutah shyama sindho rasasya vagaha." "Oh, brother mine, you have not done heartfelt worship at the lotus feet of Sri Radha. You have not yet taken shelter of Sri Vrindavan adorned with the couple's footprints. You have not yet got a chance to speak with the connoisseurs of Krishna love, in whose heart waves of the most fragile feelings surprise always. Then how did you, dear sir, bathe in the blue ocean of the transcendental wonder?" As soon as Gadadhar Bhatt read this verse, he did not even complete his shower. He ran down in the middle and came to Vrindavan, my dear friends, and did it so well that he attained the supreme felicity. This means no one else can be eligible to relish or even enter the topic of Rasalila until and unless one has three qualifications: heartfelt devotion to Sri Radha, taking shelter of Sri Vrindavan, and fellowship with those saints whose heart have turned TV screen to reflect delicate pastimes of Nikunja Leela, my dear. This 5th chapter of Rasalila is described as invincible antidote to all kinds of sexual perversion, my dear friends, including nymphomania and odious complex. Those who have miserably failed to understand, only they object and criticize it. How can it eliminate over-sexuality of modern humanity? The question arises. Listen up. An education inspector entered a classroom and drew a line on the blackboard. Then he looked at all 40 students and said, "Don't touch it. You will be awarded if you can turn it smaller." Students were puzzled. A small boy rose, who later became a great Swami. He walked up, picked up the chalk, and he drew another line bigger, parallel to the former. Obviously, the former line became smaller. The boy won the award. The very word for desire in Sanskrit is, my dear friends, kam, which also means desire, work, and also sex. That is because all those who desire for any kind, no matter how small, are going to be desiring, planning, working, and And all working class people are ultimately fascinated by opposite sex or even foreplay or just anticipation of good times with the opposite sex. They are interconnected, my dear friends. Sex is the king of all joys. All joys the world can provide you. That is why everyone gets lured and attracted and fall down. Everyone is prone and vulnerable to slip on banana peels and fall down with his face right on the holy cow dung. Therefore, for all those who want to attain something inwardly, something spiritual integrated, and higher in their life, find sex is a big trouble. If they indulge, they lose. If they suppress, they have to deal with psychological sickness. So, in order to help the suffering humanity, Lord Krishna drew a longer parallel line above the regular sexual joy. He poured great elixir, great juice and bliss and beauty and love from his godhood and announced, "O humanity, just sink into my Rasalila, submerge, get lost in oblivion, dear," and you made it. Layanam latilila, arlinam latilila. It sprinkles and pours joy and joy over and over. Pastimes of the Lord is Leela because it donates, awards you a timeless trance. Oblivion into the divine, an intoxication of the transcendence, an exhilaration into the beyond, that's what it offers. Ridrogamashapaino tyajirena dhira. That's what great says Shukdevji Maharaj said. If you get serious heart attacks, don't worry. If you are sex machine, don't worry. If you are sex maniac, don't worry. If you are terrible prono guy, or homo, or lesbian, or gigolo, or just a woman hunter, or even womanizer, just don't worry, my dear friends. Listen this Rasalila over and over and over. Recite it over and over and over. Okay? And you will be healed. You will be fine. Now let's enter the subject. Bhagavan Abhidaratri, Bhagavan Abhidaratri, Sharadot Pulla Mallika, Vicharantum Manashchakre Yogamaya Mupasrita. My dear friends, what is the best definition of God? The perfect definition of God is Raso Vaisaha. God is pure ambrosia. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. The very nature of rasa or ambrosia is to do Rasalila. Without Yoga Maya, it is not possible to multiply, which is compulsory for it. Rasanam samoho rasaha, infinite multiplication of ambrosia. Rasa is ras. The original bliss of God, first of all, became ras. Then it became ras. Then it became las. And when it traveled to the west, it became dance, Dalayora Veda. A 12th century commentary on this 5,000 years old Srimad Bhagavatam mentions of existence of another older commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam called Vasanabhash. It means a commentary that rouses your passion, a passionate commentary. It tells us as you grew passionate for wealth, for work, for career, for home, for woman, same way, developing a passion for the divine, lust for the divine. In the context with this passion, Rasalila is most appropriate. It is a dance with the divine. The im- most important role in this divine dance is of the Gopis. Let us understand the standard of the Gopis, my dear friends. A great archer, the hero of Mahabharata war, Arjuna, once asked Sri Krishna, "Oh Krishna, you keep chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. Are we nobody to you? Don't we too love you?" And Krishna said, "Of course you too love me, O Arjuna, but there is a great difference in yours and Gopi's love. Their love is founded on Tat Sukh Sukhitva consciousness. Nijangamapi yagopyo mameti samupasate tabhya param name kinchin nigudha prema bhajanam." They even consider their body as mine and do everything only and only for my pleasure. My Lord, can you give me some example? And Krishna said, "Yes, of course. One morning a gopi was going to Yamunaji. A cowboy shouted out, 'Oh Krishna, oh Krishna, Krishna Kanhaiya.' The gopi whispered, 'Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,' and a great joy overflowed upon her, and she started to have multi-million tongues to whisper Krishna and Krishna. It was so delicious. As she heard Krishna, Krishna, she tormented to have multi-million ears so that she can hear them all. Tunde tandavini ratim vitanute tundavali labdhaye karna krona gadambini ghatayate karnarbudebhya spiham. As she walked further, she heard flute music, my dear friend. Dhyanam balat paramahansa kulasya bindan sudha madhurimanam. As much love, so much bliss pouring out that it drags out deeply transcended minds of great yogis and paramahansas from Atlantic depths of their trances of meditations called samadhi. The gopi is thrilled and enthralled. As she moves further, she saw a portrait of sapphirish youth wearing peacock feather and wildflower garlands, playing flute. She was lost completely. As soon as she walked the forest path, she saw a smiling, luminous youth wearing golden silk, looking at her, playing flute. She was doubly evaporated. She walked further and sat under a tree in a lonely spot, her spine straight, doing automatic pranayam, meditating. Naraji could not hold his curiosity. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare. Singing thus, he descended from the sky and walked and stood up before the gopi. As he played his veena louder, Gopi opened her eyes. She bowed down to him. "Are you meditating on Krishna?" Naradi asked. Gopi said, "Please don't talk about him. Don't mention his name. It hurts so much." Naradji said, "Then whom do you meditate on?" Gopi said, I am meditating to remove Krishna from my heart. Naradji said, are you crazy? The whole world, even great yogis meditate to get Krishna inside their heart. They go on through all kinds of troubles, great austerity. They renounce family life. They live in the forest, observe tough rules and meditate so that world could be removed from their inside and Krishna could be settled in. Even a glimpse of his eyebrows, his smile, his scarf, and they feel allotted. Gopi was just shedding tears of tormentation, my dear friends. Okay? Now every beautiful Gopi had a rumor in Vrindavan for having secret relationship with Krishna. There was one whom Krishna did not even look at, never smiled at, never threw a flower returning from the forest. She felt herself so unfortunate that once on Bhadra's bright fourth, she stood on her rooftop with great hope and longing. She worshipped moon god as it rose in the eastern sky and prayed deeply, deeply, crying. Narad was highly curious. He arrived and asked, what's the matter? What's the matter, baby? And Gopi sighed and sobbed and said, Naradji, I am so unfortunate. Krishna doesn't look at me, never smile at me. In the scriptures, the fruit of seeing the moon tonight is false notoriety. If I cannot afford to get a true one, let the great moon god bless me with a false notoriety of having secret relationship with Krishna. Such a gopi, so many gopis, thousands of gopis, all who had received boon on Margashirsha, full moon morning, after their month-long penance, tormented to unite with the Lord in Rasalila, they participated in Rasalila, okay? Here then Krishna also being Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, being Ajopi Sannavayatma Bhutanameshwaro San, being unborn is still born, being transcendental still acts, being self-satisfied still desire to play. Why? Because Taratrihi, all those nights are ready, fully prepared. Lord Krishna had given boon to the gopis, Mayamaranchakapchapa. You will dance with me in oncoming some night. She did not mention a particular night. So all the nights since then, to all the way to the end of the millennium, have been awaiting, anticipating. This dance might take place in me, in me, in me. Now it became unbearable. They all combined up with their beauties and prosperities. Sukadevji Maharaj describes Sharadotfulla Mallika. It was Atman's full moonlit night with the blooming rose of perfuming jasmine flowers. Many flowers. Tamra Triviksha. Looking at such a wonderful night, being almighty, being omniscient, being omnipotent, Sri Krishna made up his mind, Manas Chakre. For what? Decided to do Rasalila, my dear friend. Why did he do so? Poet Laureate Jayadevji says, Kaishoram safali karoti kalayan kunje viharam hari. To make his youthfulness a success, the Lord wished for Krishna Lila, okay? That's the reason. Yes, he is the same embodiment of rapturous joy of Upanishad. Anandadhyeva khalva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Anandena jatani jivante Anandam prayantyabhisamvishanti. He is the same blissfulness from where the creation arises, stays and submerged in Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. The same embodied rapturous joy, Vijnanam Anandam Brahma, assuming the form of sapphirish illumination, walking through the woods and bowers, enjoys Rasalila with the Gopis. To make his youthfulness a success, my dear friend, that's the reason. Manas Chakre Yoga Ayoga Mayam Upasrita. What is Ayoga Maya, my dear friends? It is live in the world laughing, playing, uniting with everybody, yet beware, let there be no involvement at all. This is Asparsha Yoga, having a strong base on unindulgence. Krishna wished to play Rasalila. You can also interpret like this. Yogamaya Shabdau Yasyam Tam Yogamaya Vayushim Upasrita. The Lord took help of his flute to begin Rasalila, as described in next verse. He plays his all-enchanting flute. Sarvashayo Vibhagavan Yogamayam Sri Radham Upasrita. Although the Lord is the shelter of all, yet for Rasalila, he mentally approached Sri Radha Raseshwari to multiply her Kaya Vyuha Rupa Gopis. It can also be translated, my dear friends, as Yo Agamayam Upasritaha and Yo Gamayam Upasritaha also. It is said the god of sex conquered Brahmaji, Kamadeva conquered Brahmaji in Saraswati episode. Kamadev conquered Lord Shiva in Mohini episode. He conquered Lord Vishnu in Vrinda affairs. Now he has come to Sri Krishna and has challenged him out. Come, O Krishna, let's have a good wrestle. Let's fight and see who is rough and tough. And Krishna responded, okay, kid, choose which one. Foot fight or open field fight? Open field fight, Krishna, come on, delay not. Now, Kamastu Manaschakre, Eva Bhagavan Abhi Manaschakre. Lord Krishna too now jumped up on the ground and challenged the god of sex desire for open field fight. Okay. The second verse tells, Dasharat Purnima Atman full moon night or Samar Vaishakhi Purnima full moon night cannot confine Rasalila as a fact of it. Truly speaking, from Lord Krishna's foot strikes that fall in perfect rhythm of Rasalila, the time factor is born. The length and width of the feet of the Lord gave birth to place. Sound of ankle bells of his feet gave birth to the hymns of the Vedas. From the filaments of the feet lotus that got scattered all around are born billions of Brahmanda, the cosmic egg. The universes containing world in each of them, thousands and billions and billions. This Rasalila continues on ever and ever and ever, eternally, immortally. When our heart is refined to feel the adequate degree of love, the mercy of the Lord welcomes his soul, and he encounters this transcendental Rasalila. Tadodu Raja Kakuba Karer Mukham Prachya Vilimpan Narunena Shantamai Sacharashanina Mudaga Chocho Mrajan Priyam Priyaya Iva Dirga Darshana. This verse tells the immortal saga of white moon and sapphire-ish moon. It says eastern horizon is the wife of white moon. As soon as he rose in the sky, he smeared kumkum, a red powder, on the face of his wife, eastern direction. Not only east is the wife of moon god, but also west is the night of god of water, Varun. Same way south is the wife of Yama, the god of death. And north is the wife of Kubir, god of wealth. Okay? So, let's get back to the original verse. Tadodu raja kakubha karair mukham Prachya vilimpan narunena shantamai. After a long await of an entire year, Atman full moon, after a complete millennium, this night has come. So he, calming the pangs of separation, eliminating her tormentation, wiping her tears of love, the moon god pasted that kumkum, the red powder, on the beautiful face of Prachi. So much so that her countenance turned crimson out of shyness, because half of the world is watching this. Powder fell and spread all over, crimsonizing all around. Priya Priyaya iva dirga darshana. This crimsona dvayat became all-encompassing, my dear friends, all-pervading, so much all-embracing that Snow White moon also became somewhat crimson, as if both youthful hubby and spouse in one ambrosial embrace, completely non-dual. Right then, standing under a lush green kadamba tree, Lord Krishna's glance fell on the moon. Drishtva kumudvantamakanda mandala. Son, moon came out of his beloved's embrace and shone brilliantly in the dark blue sky, as if saying, "Go ahead, O beloved descendant of mine. Do your Rasalila. Be not shy in my presence, as I am the founder of your race. Look, I am also romantic. Love is universal. Okay, my kid, go ahead." You can translate it in this way. Krishna glanced at moon, which instantaneously turned thousands of lilies blossomed on the earth. Drishtva kumudvantamakanda mandalam Ramananamo navagungumaruram. The moon god, our guardian angel of moon planet, and goddess Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, both are brother and sister. Both rose from the sea in Sagar Manthan age. So their faces have striking similarity, my dear friend. Since goddess Lakshmi is married to Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu and Krishna are one, so moon god is brother-in-law of Krishna. Now, as soon as Krishna saw the full moon, he remembered goddess Lakshmi, our countless fortune goddesses emanate from whom that magnanimous one known as Sri Radha. Now, Sri Radha settled deep into his heart. When you are filled with emotion or sentiment of either of sex, rage, passion, greed, or even love, your face gets reddened. Nava kumkumarunam. As if moon is telling out, I am not beautiful only externally, I have immense love inside me also. Look, I am dipped in saffron color of love. Seeing me, all the lilies have been bloomed, and on top, what? Whom I reminded you of? Let me keep that a secret. Vanam cha tatko malago viranjita. Vanam cha tatko malago viranjita. Jagaukalam Vamadrisham Manohara. There is forest near Junagadh, my dear friends, in Gujarat called Nilgiri. Tigers roam around in there. There is another forest in Bengal called Sundarban. Elephants stroll around in there. Upanishad describes of a forest called Brahmavan. In Purvamimamsa philosophy there is one word, forestism. So, what is this forestism, dear friends? Forest is a situation, a condition in the world in which you turn to God 180 degrees inside. Listen, I tell you a story. Swami Shukdevanand was the founder of one of the richest ashram of these days, the Paramath Niketan, just 2 kilometers away downstream Ganga from our Sudden Enlightenment cozy corner. Swami Shukdevanand used to run a sweetmeat shop in his household life. One day he was sitting in his shop awaiting customers. He saw an overloaded cart got stuck on the way. His bulls knelt down. The driver whipped them on and on and on. The shopkeeper's mind felt himself in the place of the overburdened, miserable bull, and he remembered the words of an enlightened saint who said, without meditation, you will become an animal scratching your own head with your own paw and being beaten over and over when failed to carry overloaded cart. So this situation led the sweetmeat seller to become a great Swami. Shukdevanand, whose marbled scenic fancy ashram is still standing in the bank of Ganga, my dear friends in Rishikesh. So what I mean, forest is that situation where your heart turns 180 degrees Godwards. It is in this forest Krishna is standing, not anywhere else. Remember this well. And look what moon god did. Vanam jatat komalago viranjitam. Through his medicinal, herbal, ambrosial rays, he technicolored the entire forest. Now like lightnings, no, like lights of delight. Trees, leaves, flowers, fruits, rocks, even scents and dust are shimmering green, red, blue, golden and white, all colors. Now, Jago Kalam Vamadrisham Manoharam. Sri Krishna played his rapture inundating flute music, my dear friends. Kalam means sweetest, yet asphut undistinguishable. The soul-stirring sound of flute travelled with the breeze far and wide. Whoever heard it felt, it's my name, my name, my name. The musician is singing in his tune, calling me to him, near him, in his close proximity. That is how they said. The only meaning of flute music is that which unleashes you from 8 rat traps of obsessions, such as vanity of family prestige obsessions, and credit or status obsessions, and wealth pride obsessions, impulsive hatred of obsessions, and doubt, fear, shame, and guilt, and separation obsessions. Okay, these are all obstacles of loving Krishna, my dear friends. Flute sound disperses all these 8 traps, and the soul is free to unite with Krishna. Okay, clean infused his seed mantra. in his flute sound, my dear friends. Ka means happiness, La means life, E means energy, and Ma means love. Whenever you say Klim before Krishna, it means, my beloved, you are my joy, you my life, you my power and hope, you are my soul, my love. I belong to you. And when Lord Krishna emanated clean through his flute music, he conveyed a message to the Gopis. Oh, my beloved Gopis, you are my pleasure, you my life, you my strength, you are my love. You are love of my heart. Oh, you, the empress of my dream empire, I am all yours. So, when the Lord, all beauty, all power and all love filled Krishna would tell this to someone, will she not melt and go enlightened instantly and run down without second thought, my dear friend? No wonder even stone and mountains melted, trees dripped maple syrups, and rivers stilled on and wildlife went motionless. He is stealing the entire gang of thinking principles Manoharam and giving rapturous joy Kalam. What he is singing on his flute, my dear friends? Krishna is singing Ai Sudha Sudha Mukhi Radhike Madhura Madhura Madhu Madhavi Ai Sudha Sudha Mukhi Radhike Madhura Madhura Madhu Madhavi Mai Sada Daite Daite Chiram Tava Gunai Hridayam Mama Dhiryate. O nectarine moon-faced Radha, O my eternal beloved, O the merciful one, without you my heart is splitting apart, dear. Please come, come, running down, please come. Now the pretty-eyed Gopis heard the flute music and watched the miracle, my dear friend. What happened? Nishamya Geetam Tadananga Vardhanam Vrajastriya Krishna Grihita Manasa Ajagmuranyo Nyamalakshitodyama Sayatra Kanto Javalola Kundala. As soon as the flute music echoed, it just re-echoed, and touching flowers and fruits and waves of Yamuna, floating on the breeze, traveled all around the cosmic egg to all Brahmanda. But only Gopis heard it. Only those Gopis who participated in Mantralanka Katyayani Vratam, they heard it. As soon as it touched their ears, all senses left their stations and joined with the ears. Eyes went to the ears and began to see the flute music. Skin reached the ear and began receiving the touch of the flute music. Tongue traveled to the ear and tasting it out. Nose is smelling it. Heart is no longer in the chest. It has traveled to the ear and experiencing it, relishing it. Peacocks have started dancing, my dear. Cuckoos are cooing. Trees are dripping maple syrup. Rivers are motionless. Rocks are melting. Omkarartha mudirayan vijayate. Vanshi Ninada Shisho Dhyanam Balat Paramahansa Kulasya Bhindan Nindan Sudha Madhurimana Madhira Dharma. The entire meaning of Om is swallowed up by the flute music. World turned Brahman itself. Nirvikalpa Samadhi of immortal four children are broken. Their samadhis are broken. Even the most serious Paramahansas danced about. Millions of people, even devout Hindus, get freaked out hearing word Anangavardhanam, my dear friends. Anangavardhanam means enticer of sexual desire or lust, sex, desire to copulate. But they fail to see the forward. Lust for whom? Sex with whom? To copulate with whom? If you tell somebody, I am getting horny, I really cannot wait, I just want to make love with you. And she asks you, with whom? And you say, with fire. And she immediately swings her face and says, come on, don't be silly. You say, no, not fire. You want to copulate with ice. And she is simply upset and calls the madhouse manager to take you up. Because it means nothing. Same way, my dear friends, having sex with God, growing lust for God, getting excited, enticed for God, do not mean anything what you know of as a social person. It only means strongest, stormy search for God realization or nothing else. The enlightened saints are addicted to play games with common human stupidity, my dear. That's all. So don't break down the table. Just understand that's all because of Anaradha Radha Padambhoja Yugmam. It is said after the dissolution, God sleeps and snores aloud. God's snoring is the Vedas. Nishwatittamasya Vedaha. A person with brain will immediately ask, well then where from the meaning came into a mere snoring? And that too not ordinary meaning, world enlightening meaning, which even great intellectuals and scientists take years to understand. That kind of Vedas came out of snoring. Snoring. Who can snore just like this? And how great, wise and intelligent he might be. He is. So you have to train your intellect to function in a special creative way and understand spirituality. That since God is transcendental, His snoring too is transcendental. So all the meaning of life, mystery of universe and fantastic wisdom are inherent in that snoring, okay? Same way, God's playing flute is a cosmic, colossal transmission. Gopis' passion to see Krishna is the highest form of devotion. It must be understood at all costs. So never get freaked out. Do not get passed out. So let's get to the original verse. Nishamya Geetam Tadananga Vardhanam Vrajastriya Krishna Grihita Manasa. Just like a ghost grabs somebody or an operator pulls the doll, same way the flute music grabbed the heart of the gopis and put them on a run to be with Krishna. There were many precious goodies in the mind of the gopis, such as passion, memory, discretion, shyness, care, intelligence. All of these treasures were taken hostage. And ajagmuranyonyamalakshitodyamaha. Gopis rushed, no one informed anyone else. Each one went separately. All they were seeing was Krishna, 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 Krishna. No one else at all, only Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. In Vrindavan it is said Sri Shukdev Maharaj in the form of a parrot was sitting on one of the boughs of the same Kadamba tree under which Krishna was playing flute. He witnessed all the proceedings. Sa yatra kanto javalola kundala. Sacrificing all, renouncing all, transcending all. This way the gopis came. Their luminous earrings were shaking, dangling to and fro, almost floating in the air, swimming in the space. The gopis approached to the beloved, my dear friends. The flute music of Krishna is swimming across the hills and dales, casting an unbreakable spell through blissful vibrations, drinking up logic, baffling intelligence, uprooting ego, liquidating self-control, Krishnizing everybody's vision with only one thought, to race on to the path leading to Krishna alone. The festival of all festivals, secret of all secrets, joy of all joys, blending each gopi's name in the melody. Krishna's music travelled on and on and on, filling the eyes of the gopis with tears of love. Wherever the gopis were, no matter how they were doing, what they were doing, no matter how highly important it was, their irrepressible love flashed like lightning and ran down fast and fastest. Those who were milking cows, warming them, cooking halwa puris and kheer and malais, those who were serving food, entertaining children, not theirs but sisters, elders, cousins, decorating themselves, left these works incomplete and rushed to meet Krishna. Yogamaya completed their unfinished duties, even the decorations, my dear friends. Yatha nadya sindhamana samudre tam gacchante namarupe vihaya. As rivers flow fast to the ocean, gopis ran. Out of affection, father, brother offered to accompany them, they denied. To many their husbands stopped, they forced their right, locked them in segregation. But Govinda Bharadatmano Nanyavardanta Mohita. Those gopis whose hearts were submerged in Krishna love sneaked out not only from the windows or ventilators, but even from the body as well. Many gopis sat in a room in yoga pose, closed their eyes, with blazing fire of tormentation to unite with Krishna, burned their body, burned their bondage of karmas that causes to stay confined in the physical body. They played holy with their karmas, freed themselves from bodies, and like free birds, they joined thousands of their friends still on the way with them. They have done with whom they have done Katyayani Vratam together. Dussaha preshcha virati vrata vadhuta shubha dhyanam ramdajadashlesha nirvridyabhina mangala jahur gunavayam deham sadhya brakshina bandana tameva paramatmanam jarabuddhya visangada. Parama Rama Parama Para Rama Parama Ramaya Paramam Rupam Paramitya Vidiyade. The one who is the most beloved of Parama, Sri Radha, that is Paramatma. means Tasya Paramaya Atma Paramatma. One who is the emperor of Sri Radha's dream, that is Paramatma. In their subtle divine bodies, they flow through sky. Only physical bodies can be confined in tiring with their astral body. And walking, swimming through the air, they resemble the golden creepers broken and thrown in the sky of Krishna's love. Like puppets strung on a single thread, like rain falling from white sky, like land lotuses crushed by mad elephants of their passionate urge, with their earrings swinging, the Gopis, the goddess of love, are pursuing the sound of flute, my dear friends. Flying on the wings of Krishna's lukuholic heart through the sky of their love, the Bhakti Acharya Gopis hasten to the forest. Their restless glances were as if shower of blue lotus petals, initiating the festival of meeting Krishna. This poses a big historic question of universal application, my dear friends. How long one must act? Puritans and ritualists say, Yavat Jivam Agnihotram Juhyat, perform fire ceremony and all duties of household life as long as you live. Grammarians say, Yavat Jivam Adhyam Vyakaranam, study grammar all life. Cloth merchant, general merchant, motel owners, cook, office workers, all wish to go on in their business so long as they can, and advise the same to others who respect them. After how much of the achievements one must stop all this, my dear friend? The question arises again. Many scholars say, until you attain the expected fruit of your action, go on non-stop. But fruit of action is not in human hands. The providence gives the fruits. Humans can never be sure which life, which fruit of which birth he would provide. What we are doing now, the fruit he may offer tonight, or next day, or in old age, or in next life, or even after thousands of lifetimes. God only knows what he is about. So, you will never be free from work if you listen to this fellow. So spiritual people say, act until your heart or thinking principles are purified. And when do you know you are purified? They say, only when you are God realized. And until then you go on working hard. This too is honor, oh my dear friend. Well, Srimad Bhagavatam says, Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeti yavata tat katha sravanadava suddhaya vannajayate. Work as long as you are fascinated by the fruit of action. Object of any enjoyment, as long as you are fascinated with object of any enjoyment, do your duty hard until you develop a taste in the worshipping Lord, meditating on the Lord, loving the Lord, listening all about the Lord tirelessly. So, 2 points are mentioned here. Okay? In this verse. Detachment from the world and stormy love for God. Someone asks, okay, we will drop working then, but should not we complete the already undertaken work? Enlightened one says, that's another lunacy. No one has ever finished the work. Work keeps sprouting one after another. As soon as one is done, another is ready. Gopis' answer is, no dear, neither fruit of action is in our hand, nor completing the action. No one is sure what is going to happen next moment. So, fill the emptiness of life with work, but beware. You are doing it not for a perfect fruit, not for completing the job, but fulfilling the gap between this time to the time you get the invitation from God. Gopis got the invitation and so they left. Their airplane has taken off the land. They are up in the air. And now you better know when you will be up in the air. My dear friends, Krishna was dressed in shimmering gold and silk. He was standing Tribhangalalit, threefold bending form on the bank of Yamuna river, surrounded by thousands of gopis, all shining in snow-white moonlit night. Suddenly his music stopped. He saw great joy and anticipation on their faces. A big smile spread across Krishna's handsome face. And then, Avadadvadatam Sreno Vajabeshair Vimochayan. That super eloquent speaker addressed the assembled gopis, bewildering them by his elegant expressions. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Swagatam Vo Bhaga Priyam Kim Karavani Va Swagatam Vo Bhaga Priyam Kim Karavani Va Prajasyannamayam kache drutagamana karanam dreshtam vanam gusumidam rangesha kararanjidam yamuna niralileya tarupalavashobhitam. My dear friends, we will go in details of these verses in next discourse, my dear friends. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.